Welcome to the deep dive. So, you sent over the details from Monday Night Raw, May 5th, live on Netflix from Omaha, the big go-home show before Backlash.
That's right. Lots to unpack.
Yeah, and you wanted us to figure out, like, the really crucial storylines coming out of it, especially with that wild ending everyone's talking about.
Absolutely. These final shows, they're all about building that last bit of hype. So, let's dig in.
Okay, so right at the start, we have Paul Heyman. He comes out for Seth Rollins, challenges Jey Uso
Right. For the World Heavyweight title.
for the title, and not at Backlash, but, like, that night in the main event.
Yeah, Uso accepted immediately. Pretty bold opening move.
Definitely sets a tone, makes the title feel like the absolute focus.
And unpredictable. You didn't know what else might happen after that.
So the main event happens, Rollins versus Uso, and it was pretty intense, going back and forth.
Until the inevitable interference, right? Braun Breaker.
Yep, Breaker runs in, causes the DQ, but then Sami Zayn runs down.
To make the save for Jey Uso. Yeah. Fending off Breaker. Looked like that might be it, but...
But then, CM Punk. His music hits, he comes out with a chair.
Whoa. Yeah, that was the big surprise.
Total chaos. The show ends with Zayn, Uso, and Punk standing tall in the ring, while Rollins, Breaker, and Heyman are backing off up the ramp.
That just throws everything into question, doesn't it? Punk, back in the mix, right near the world title picture.
What do you think that means? Like, is it an alliance? Or is Punk just out for himself, maybe targeting Rollins?
It's hard to say, honestly. Punk's got history, obviously. He always wants to be at the top. It could be anything. It adds a massive wild card element right before Backlash.
Definitely something to watch. Okay, what else? Our notes mention, just briefly, more tension in the Judgment Day.
Yeah. It wasn't a major segment, but they keep planting those seeds, those little cracks.
And those cracks can turn into huge splits down the line. Always worth keeping an eye on that group.
Absolutely. Internal faction drama, it's classic wrestling storytelling fuel.
Then there was Grayson Waller. Apparently, he sort of engineered the match between Sheamus and Austin Theory.
Yeah, it seemed like he was pulling strings there. Suggests he's trying to be more than just a talk show host, He's manipulating things.
Trying to create opportunities, maybe for himself.
Could be. Or just causing trouble. Fits his character, really.
And speaking of manipulation, Dominic Mysterio asked Finn Balor to handle AJ Styles.
Right. And Balor seemed, hesitant at first, but he agreed in the end.
Okay, so that sounds like trouble brewing for AJ Styles. Maybe a setup.
Probably. Balor agreeing despite maybe not wanting to. That usually leads somewhere interesting. Potential conflict within Judgment Day, even. Or maybe setting up a future Balor versus Styles match.
Gotcha. Shifting gears a bit, tag teams. The New Day, we're seeing encouraging Chad Gable.
Oh, yeah. To go for the tag title.
Yeah, exactly. Could he be stepping up as a challenger soon?
Well, Gable's got the skills, obviously. And having the New Day backing him, that definitely gives him some momentum. Could be a fun new challenge in that division.
Okay, women's division. This got pretty intense. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria.
Oof, yeah. That promo battle.
Becky calling Lyra garbage, and Lyra firing back, saying Becky's act is stale.
And it didn't just end with words, right? They started brawling.
They did. So that feud is personal now, properly heated going into Backlash.
That's how you build a big match feel. Real animosity.
And then more women's division stuff. Io Sky beat Roxanne Perez.
Right. Solid match, but the action was after the bell.
Yeah. Julia came out. There was this sort of fake handshake moment with Perez, and then Julia and Perez just jumped Io Sky.
So a new alliance formed right there.
Yeah.
Julia and Perez teaming up, and they're clearly targeting the champ, Io.
That's a big development. Suddenly, Io has two serious threats gunning for her.
Injecting Julia straight into the title picture like that. Smart move. Creates instant buzz.
Okay, almost done here. Rusev had a match.
Yep, beat Otis via submission. Pretty dominant showing.
And then Tozawa tried to challenge him afterwards.
Yeah, and Rusev just took him out too. Brutal. Just reinforcing how dangerous he is right now.
Making a statement.
For sure.
And finally, Gunther and Pat McAfee, they had a promo segment.
They did. A heated exchange, building up their Backlash match. Typical good stuff from those two on the mic.
Right, building that anticipation. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Key takeaways from this go-home Raw.
Well, the biggest thing has to be the main event chaos, right?
Yeah.
CM Punk's return changes the landscape completely.
Absolutely. That, plus the Judgment Day tension still bubbling, the new Julie Perez alliance threatening Io Sky.
And those really personal feuds heating up, like Becky and Lyra. Plus, Rusev looking like a monster again.
Yeah, they packed a lot in. It really set the stage for backlash across the board.
It did. But that central question now hangs over everything.
What does CM Punk's appearance actually mean? For Rollins, for Uso, for the title, for Backlash itself.
Exactly. And how will all these other alliances and rivalries shake out?
Uh-huh.
Lots for you to think about heading into the weekend.
Definitely leaves you with plenty to chew on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.